Hello there, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I know life has been a little crazy lately, but we're gonna have fun today. I'm actually pretty excited about today's video because we're going to be testing a product that I'm a little bit hooked on, and that is all-in-one face palettes. I happen to love the concept, but of all the face palettes I have tried, I've only found one that I think is absolutely extraordinary. But here's the problem with that one. It's extraordinarily expensive too. This is the Pretty Blushed Beauty palette from Charlotte Tilbury. You can see it right here. It is gorgeous. Every single pan in this palette is perfect. It works so well for my skin. I love to travel with this because it puts together a wonderful look so very quickly, but my gosh, it's $75. So ever since I fell in love with this palette, I've been trying to cheat on it and find another palette that is as good but not as expensive. Today we're going to be trying the face palette from Beauty Pie. This is the One Palette Wonder. I've had this in-house for a while, and I talked to you guys about it when I did the Beauty Pie video. I'll go ahead and link that up here, that I would do a video on this palette in a few weeks, and here we are. And I have to tell you, I kind of have a selfish reason for wanting to do this palette today because I'm leaving on a trip in a few days, which is such a tease for you guys because by the time you see this video, I will have gone on the trip and been back. And I hope you enjoyed the trip because I'm going to be vlogging while I'm gone. I want to try this palette today to see if I want to go ahead and include it in my makeup that I'm taking on my trip. And I want to find out if I love it as much as this one. If you're new here, I'm so glad you stopped by. I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. I hope you'll consider subscribing while you're here and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you haven't signed up for my email newsletter yet, you've got to get on that. It is such a fun little part of your week. I send out a beauty newsletter every Sunday morning. It's super short, super compact. I put all the great finds and tips and tricks and fun things I find during the week in that newsletter. It's free, it's easy to sign up. You can click the link down below. Before we jump into the makeup, I want to talk about the sweater I'm wearing. How pretty is this? I love this color, and let me tell you what, this sweater is so soft. It fits so beautifully. It is just yummy and luxurious. And I'll tell you the funny story about this. This sweater is from one of you. When I did my trip to Florida last fall, I stopped by a little town called Eureka Springs. And this sweater is from a boutique, Christopher's, in Eureka Springs. When I mentioned about a month ago that I'm looking into going down south and maybe living there, a little gal from Christopher's contacted me. We kind of had a little chat back and forth, and she sent me some beautiful things from her shop, Christopher's. She owns it with a girlfriend. I'm going to have it linked down below. She sent me this sweater, another blouse that's gorgeous, and a lounge set that is to die for. I'm going to have all of it linked down below, but I'm going to be doing a little mini fashion show showing the things that were sent because I think you guys are going to love them. That'll be in an upcoming video. Now we're going to hop into the face palette, and as always, all products that I use and mention today will be listed and linked below, so super easy for you to find. And with that, let's hop into it. I've gone ahead and done most of my face. For primer today, I used the Beauty Pie. This is the All-in-Wonder Illuminating Primer. I really like this. It does a nice job, and it gives just a little bit of glow underneath my foundation. For foundation, I'm using my holy grail. This is the Forever Skin Glow from Dior, the new formula. Concealer today is the Tarte Shape Tape Ultra Creamy Concealer. I've done my brows with the Kosas Brow Pencil. This is a new holy grail for me. I love this pencil. If you like brow pencils, you might want to check this one out. I set my under eyes with the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. This is wonderful. And today I primed my eyes with the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. Like I mentioned, I fell in love with the Pretty Blushed Beauty palette from Charlotte Tilbury a while ago. I bought a couple of these. This is the one that just is so gorgeous. Of course, I have another one and I haven't tried it yet, so I can't really speak to that one. Every single pan in this palette works, and this is the first palette that I found that every single pan really works and creates a beautiful look. Today I'm going to be using the Beauty Pie One Palette Wonder to see how it stacks up against the Charlotte Tilbury. Now I have to be very, very fair and and say, I don't know if the Beauty Pie has a chance. This palette I'm in love with. It's $75. This palette, I have no idea how it's going to work. It's $9. So there's a huge price difference between the two. I love the concept of an all-in-one palette because it makes it so easy to put together a look, particularly if you're in a big hurry or if you're traveling, you can just take one palette with you. I would love to find out that this works as well as this. Today we're going to give it a shot. I'll have to say, if you have a face palette that has eyeshadows and bronzer, blush, and highlight that you think works, every single pan is wonderful and you really love it, let me know in the comments down below and I'll go ahead and try it on the channel. I have not used this palette and I've only swatched one of the eyeshadow colors. I think you can see a little fingerprint right there. As you can see, we have 3 eyeshadow colors right here, a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight. And I'm going to go ahead and swatch them before we dive in. So here we have the eyeshadow colors right here. You can see we have a bronze metallic right here, a very light taupey crease color, and an all over shadow shade right here. Here we have swatches of the bronzer, blush, and highlight. So bronzer right here, blush, and highlight. I'm really excited to dive into this because if I can find a $9 palette that works as well as a Charlotte Tilbury, I'm going to be thrilled. I'm going to start in with my Angie 503 brush and I'm going to dip it into this light shade right here. That's going to go all over both lids from top to bottom just to lay down a base. So I'm going to load my brush up, tap it off, and just put a light application of that from my eyelashes on up to my eyebrows. Little bit of dusty kick up in this particular shadow. I didn't see any fallout, but it's a very light color, so I'm not sure if I would have seen it anyway, but a little bit dusty when I put my brush into it. Now I'm going to take the Angie 502 brush and dip it into this crease color right here. I like the fact that it's very light and very subtle. Tap it off. A little bit of dust on this one too. So that's going to go in the crease right above my natural crease and up into the brow area. Just creating a little bit of depth and pushing back that hooded area of my eye with this a little bit darker color. Now I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to dip it into the bronzer color right here. That's going to go deeper into the crease to create more depth in that area. So I'm just going to put that right into the crease area on the outside third of that crease and work it down into the movable lid just on the outside corner. Now I'm going to go back in with that 503 brush and I'm just going to blend it in, although it doesn't really need it. Things have blended in really well. These colors are very light. They are a little bit more powdery than I wish they were. Now I'm going to take my flat brush and dip it into this bronzy, deeper color out here. Get it right on the tip of those bristles. Tap off the excess, and that's going to go on the outside corner of the movable lid and on into the crease area just a little bit. I'm going to bring it down along the lash line. Same thing on the other side, down along the lash line and up into the crease a little bit. I'm going to dip it back in and to darken that area a little bit more. Now I'm going to go back in with that big fluffy blending brush again and just blend that in. Now I'm going to take my finger and dip it into the highlight color right here, and that's going to go right on the movable lid to give a little pop and a little bit of shimmer in that area. Now I'm going to take my e.l.f. tapered brush and dip it into the bronzer here and start warming up the complexion. Do you guys start your bronzer in the same place every time? I know I do. It seems like it's right up into my forehead. I don't know, we just get in these little habits. Isn't that funny? Bring that down along the side of my face. It's a pretty color of a bronzer. I rarely bronze this side of my forehead because no one ever sees it. My hair's in the way. I'm liking what that's doing. I think it's really pretty. And then down along my chin, I like that bronzer. I think it's a great color and really did a nice job of warming up the complexion and creating some planes and angles on my face. Now I'm going to dip into this blush color. It's kind of a pretty little peachy pink, very compatible with a lot of skin tones. And just hit the upstairs area of my cheek. It's a pretty color. Now I'm going to take my sponge and just press that in and really work that in, particularly around the edges of the blush, so that it really blends in seamlessly with my complexion. I like that color. That is pretty. Now we're going to jump into the highlight. I'm going to load up my brush. I kind of always overdo it with the highlight. I can't help myself. What is it with sparkly things in women? So just hitting the tops of my cheeks, a little bit in the front. That's pretty. Now I'm going to take my big fluffy rougher. This is the number 30 brush. I love this brush. And just blend everything in. Now I'm going to hop off and curl my lashes. I'm going to tightline with the L'Oreal Lay Liner, and I'm going to do my lashes with the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Base and one of my new mascara favorites, the Voluminous Noir Balm from L'Oreal, and I'll be right back. For lipstick today, I'm using the NYX pencil in the color Whipped Caviar. At least I think that's what it is. Let me double check. Yes. And the Huda Beauty cream lipstick in the color Angel. Here we have the finished look. I know you guys have guessed it already. I have thoughts and I'm going to share them. To start with, I think the makeup looks very, very pretty. And if someone saw me in this, they'd think, oh, she did her makeup nicely today. The complexion looks great. The eyes look nice, subtle, and sophisticated. However, I can't say that I'm in love with this palette, and I'll tell you why. The eyeshadow formula for me is just way too dusty. I wish it was a little bit creamier, a little bit more, I don't know, luxurious. It just kicks up like a very inexpensive eyeshadow. And it really was hard to get any depth in the look, even with using the bronzer deep into the crease. The eyeshadows themselves are very subtle, not very pigmented. It did create a very pretty, very subtle look, and I think using the highlighter on the lid really helped bring the whole eyeshadow look together. Now, as much as I am not a fan of the eyeshadow formulas, I'll have to say the face formulas were really glorious. I think the bronzer is so very pretty, gave just the right amount of warmth and contour to the face, really very pretty. That blush is beautiful. It's just the right color of peachy pink to work with so many different skin tones, but you know what? We have this color blush from other companies in other formulas, so it's not a unique color. It's just a really good version of that color. And the highlight, I think the highlight on the face, let's put on a little bit more because, you know, why not? I think that highlight is really, really pretty. So the face part of the face palette, I really do like very much. I wish the eyeshadow were a little bit creamier. I would have preferred the ability to create a little bit deeper look with the eyeshadow if I wanted to. You really can't go deep with the shadows in this palette at all. Would I say I love it as much as the Pretty Blush Beauty palette from Charlotte Tilbury? No, not even close, unfortunately. There aren't any stinkers in this palette as far as colors go. I just think the eyeshadows really could have been formulated much better and much creamier. That would have made this palette excellent because those face products are really, really glorious. Now we have to look at price point. This is $9.13. So is it a good value? Yeah, I think so if you don't mind a little bit of powder in your shadows. It doesn't create a bad look. It's just a little bit of kick up. It just doesn't feel as creamy as some shadows do. $9 for this palette, I think that's a pretty good bargain because the face products are so very good. It doesn't quite meet that criteria that I was looking for of a really great face palette where everything is perfect. So very fun to put together a look with the one palette wonder from Beauty Pie. Some of it I loved, some of it not so much. I hope you enjoyed this video today and found it fun, useful, and helpful. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And make sure you sign up for my email newsletter list. I think you're gonna love it. You guys know it just tickles me when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.